And we are recording. Hey there, Velvar.
Hi, how's it
Or
going?
Marshall. Whatever you'd prefer.
Either or will work for me.
This is something new for the channel. I've decided to start doing some scary story readings because I think they are fun.
Hell yeah.
I like channels like Creepcast and a bunch of other people who do the same kind of stuff. So I thought I'd throw my hat into the ring. Throw my hat into the ring, that's what I said. How are you doing today?
I'm just getting through work. You know how it is.
Oh, yes.
Who doesn't like a good creepy story to listen to?
So, I'm just going through the stories that are on Reddit, like the no sleep, like best of, and the most highly rated one is from author
hopefully it's good enough.
TBP. It's not like a name. That's the name of the user. Capital EA, capital PA, TBP. And apparently they have written several different stories and are like fairly well known on here. Like, I looked at their page a little while ago. It seemed like something, but this came out 5 years ago. This came out in August of 2021. And the name of the story is called My Sugar Daddy Asks Me for Weird Favors.
I'm already shaking in my boots.
I'm shitting myself, that's for sure. Fully shitted pants, that's for sure. So, the way I thought we would do this is like one of us narrates most of the stuff, and the other person does the actual like voices of the characters. I don't know what you'd prefer to do.
I mean, well, shoot, I can pull it up in between sweeps. I'm sure.
Yeah, sure, yeah. You have the same story pulled up on yours?
Yeah, contingent. Maybe not. Oh, there it is. Shit.
So, just for the record, this story is told from the point of view of a young woman.
All right. Well, I know with my deep voice, I'm perfectly suited to it.
I'm a little girl. I'm a little girl.
Oh, geez.
All right.
I can't wait for my boss to walk in and be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
It's crazy that you're doing this at work. Okay, let's go. So it starts as so. His Tinder profile said he was 45, but he looked to be in his early 30s at most. The post said, looking for a sugar baby, $700 weekly, no sex. What is that supposed to mean? It sounded too good to be true, but as a broke university student, I was willing to take my chances. I swiped right, and Tinder let me know it was a match. His message came seconds later.
Hey there, sweetheart.
That makes me want to bar theory.
Oh, jeez.
I cringed at that word. I hated it. But $700 was $700, so I sucked it up and replied.
Should I do it for 20?
Fucking, yeah, I guess. Hey, winky face. His name was Jack. He told me he owned his own business, although he never specified what kind of business it was. He talked for a while before he asked me for my Venmo to send me the first payment. After a few minutes, I got the notification. I stared at the $700 for at least 20 minutes, expecting to wake up from a dream at any second, but it wasn't a dream.
You still there?
I clicked on the message. Yeah, sorry. If you don't mind me asking, what are you looking for in return? I stared at the chat until he replied.
I'm just looking for you to do me a few favors for me.
You're cracking up, wait. Yeah, baby, I'm just looking for you to do a few favors for me. That sounded like it was going to be sexual to me. Like what?
For example, the first thing I need you to do is pick up a delivery for me.
That sounded innocent enough, but I was still expecting there to be some kind of twist. $700 to pick up a package? Come on, even I wasn't that naive. From the post office or something?
No, I'll send you the address, but I'd rather not do this through Tinder. You got Kick, or can you give me your number?
Kick? What was this, 2011? I don't know what Kick is, to be fair.
I have no idea.
It's some sort of chat app, I'm sure.
Probably.
I decided to give him my number instead, and he texted me the address immediately, followed by the address to his house, where I would have to drop off the package.
I'm not home right now, but there's a key on the bottom of the blue flower pot near the door. Go inside and put the package on the coffee table in the living room. Make sure that you lock the door when you go inside the house, and then lock it again when you leave.
I grabbed my car keys and wallet and got into my car, putting the address into Google Maps. Got it! On my way. My phone buzzed as I backed out of the driveway.
I'm serious. Lock the door both times. Please.
I thought that was a little excessive, but I promised him that I would. The house looked abandoned. It had a broken chain link fence around it, with a small door that was hanging on to dear life. It stuck out like a sore thumb, surrounded by houses that were a lot nicer than this one in comparison.
You here for Jack shit?
Oh, God. I looked up to see a man standing in the open doorway of the house. He took up almost the entire space. His head skimmed the top of the door frame. He was huge in height and muscles, and his entire torso was covered in tattoos. Yeah, I guess, I replied, not moving from my spot on the sidewalk.
Stay right there,
He said. Oh, sorry. Not trying to step on your toes there, brother. I did. I actually don't think I would have moved if he had asked me to. I looked around and realized that there was no one else on the street. I was a 21-year-old woman alone in the street. I gripped my car keys. A few minutes later, the man came back out carrying a cardboard box. It was about the size of a shoebox, but stained and damp on some of the corners.
Can you open your car?
He asked. I opened the trunk, not wanting that inside on my car seats, and he set it in.
All right, here you go.
There you go, he said. Thanks, I replied. I walked around to the driver's side of the car and opened the door.
Oh, and one more thing,
He said. I looked at him.
Watch out.
I think he's just like a casual, like, just watch out, okay? Just watch out. Watch out, okay?
I think it's fun.
Big fucking guy covered in tattoos who's like, all right, bestie, have a nice day.
He's just a nice guy.
Yeah, he's just a nice guy.
He's not up to anything.
I didn't reply. I blasted my music as I drove to Jack's house, hoping it would drown out my anxiety. It didn't. I parked my car on the stone driveway and stayed inside the car, admiring the house. It was a huge house, with stone pillars in the front porch and the greenest grass I had ever seen in my life. I turned the car off and got out. I grabbed the package and walked to the front door, getting the key from where he said it would be. I opened the door and stepped in, closing it behind me. I thought about what he had said about locking the door when I got inside. I thought that was a little overboard, but as I stared at the closed door, something made me reach out and lock it. I walked inside, my feet cushioned by the thick maroon carpet, and admired the inside of the house. All the furniture was wooden and looked incredibly expensive. I would probably finish school a dozen times with the money that it took to furnish this place. I set the package down on the coffee table, and as I walked back to the door, I heard a phone ringing from somewhere in the house. I froze. In my pocket, my phone buzzed. I took it out to look.
Don't answer any calls that aren't from Marvin.
I put my phone back and followed the sound of the phone, poking my head into a few different rooms before I found it in an office. I walked over to the desk and looked at the caller ID. Incoming call from Jack. That was odd. I grabbed my phone to look at the message again. I was starting to get a little bit creeped out and decided I wouldn't answer, just to be safe, and left the house, remembering to lock the door as I left. I've done a few more favors for Jack since then. I drove a BMW to a random park in another city, only to get out and drive a different car back to Jack's house. He had me meet one of his employees at lunch, who had then gave me a briefcase to deliver to the first house I had gone to, and told me he would know if I looked inside. Or he would know if I looked inside. On several occasions, he asked me to drive down to the same house and stay with the guy, whose name was Julio, for a certain amount of time. In total, I've made about $3,500. Honestly, not that bad.
Yeah.
That stuff doesn't
honestly,
sound that bad. I mean, it's weirdly ominous. But it's like,
yeah, it's a weird, but it just sounds like she's being used as a drug mule. That's it.
basically, yeah.
Worst case scenario. It's just like, oh yeah, I need you to deliver some suspicious packages.
Like, hey, go
Here's
have
some money.
lunch with one of my friends. He said, and he tells you, like, I'll know if you look inside from next time I see you from the look in your face. And I'm like, what? Am I delivering body parts? What's going on? I'm sending someone their pieces of their wife, piece by piece mail.
Will never stop. It's worse than you'll never find the body. It's you'll never stop finding the body.
Right. It's like, but $3,500 in today's economy?
Yeah. Like seriously, this guy is like, oh yeah, I run a business, and I need you to move these suspicious packages. It just sounds like drugs.
Yeah.
It just sounds like drugs.
Jack is a drug dealer.
Like at the very least, he's a drug dealer. He could be a supplier.
Is he like a drug dealer? Because he called the house, but he said not to pick up the phone. Is that him just testing her, or is there something actually weird going on? This is a horror story, so it makes me wonder.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably like ghosts or some shit, but like, if I was her, I'd just be like, yep, I'm working for a drug dealer.
I'm working for a haunted drug dealer. All right. Most recently, Jack asked me to stay in his house overnight. I woke up to a text message from him.
I need you to spend the night at my house. I hate that I take that voice.
I hate that voice, but please keep using it. It's funny.
Sure.
I hadn't ever seen him in person, but I had talked to him on the phone a few times. He proceeded to tell me he would pay me $1,000 to spend the night at his house, provided that I follow a few rules. I drove to his house that evening. The driveway was empty, and it normally was, but the porch light was on. I walked up, unlocked the door, went inside, and then locked it again. Everything in the house looked the same. Jack had told me over the phone that he would leave the list of rules on the dining room table. I set all my stuff down in the living room. My bags looked like garbage compared to the fancy furniture in there. I wandered into the kitchen and then to the dining room. Sure enough, there was a piece of paper on the wooden table, held down by an empty glass. You want to read the rules?
Yeah, I'll read them real quick.
All right.
Lock the door when you come in. Only answer calls from Marvin. Don't turn on any faucets between 9 and 11 p.m. Don't open the door for anyone, no matter who they say they are after 10 p.m. If the door to the closet at the end of the hall is open, sleep in the library. If closed, sleep in any. Hold on. Oh man, I lost my spot.
If the door to the closet at the end of the hall is open?
Yes. Is open, sleep in the library. If closed, sleep in any of the bedrooms. The gardener comes at midnight. If he starts knocking on the window, hide. Turn the TV on and let it play on static through the night. Do not forget to do this. Help yourself to
Anything
in the fridge.
Smiley face. I'll pay you in the morning.
I'll pay you in the morning. Good night. Exclamation point.
That's a lot of ominous rules. Let's dissect these for a second. So lock the door when you come in. That's pretty normal. It's a weird thing to demand in a note. Only answer calls from a certain person. Also, not kind of weird, but not that weird.
Yeah, like that's like I could see it if it's just like maybe it's like this phone is really only for this one person. Like if it's a work phone or something like that, that makes sense. Don't turn on any faucets between 9 and 11. That's a little weird.
Yeah, what the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit, I'm probably just seeing a pattern where there is none, but 9 and 11, 911, probably nothing.
Right.
Probably just Homo sapien brain going, ooh, pattern.
Ooh, pattern. Also, it just makes sense that whenever you're staying at someone else's house, not to let anyone in.
Yeah. Like, that makes sense.
But like, it says, but after 10 p.m. specifically. Anyone after 10 p.m. should not be let into the house.
Yeah.
It's the specificity that makes it weird.
Yeah, like, again, that could, like, make sense if it was like, oh, I'm not expecting anyone over after this time. But, like, again, that implies that other people would also be there, which is weird in of itself.
All right. If the door to the closet at the end of the hall is open, sleep in the library. If closed, sleep in any of the bedrooms. What is in the closet, and why am I safe from it if I'm in the library?
Yeah, that one's explicitly something is really wrong.
Something's creepy. The quote-unquote gardener comes at midnight. If he starts knocking on the windows, hide. What?
Yeah. Again, who the fuck's gonna do gardening at midnight? Like, unless you're in, like, Alaska, then maybe. But, again, what the fuck?
And then hide. Hide where, motherfucker? It seems like this entire house is a death trap. Oh, and then turn the TV on and let it play on static through the night. Do not forget to do this.
It might be a little bit of a tangent, but I remember something from like another. I can't remember if it was a story, a game, or whatnot, but it was something like there was a monster where you couldn't have like any artificial, like any of the light switches turned on, but it never said anything about TV, so you could have the TV light. But like, again, there's probably nothing to it. But again, that's weird as fuck. That's not like a hey, leave the TV on so I can sleep.
If you're having to hide from this quote-unquote gardener, then wouldn't the TV give away where you are?
Yeah.
Unless if you're having to like dodge like a half dozen of different things in this fucking house.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the only thing that I could think of was that would be like the gardener, for whatever reason, knows you're there, but it's not supposed to see you. Whatever the fuck that would entail. Which I don't like any of those implications. And especially the do not forget to do this. Like whatever happens, something bad is going to happen if the TV isn't left on.
Like, bitch, are you trying to spoof me out?
And then the help yourself to anything in the fridge smiley face.
Oh my god. It's like all that spooky stuff that you just said didn't change the entire vibe of the evening. Alright, I'll continue now. I made sure to follow all the rules. To be honest, I was regretting my decision, but seeing as I was already here and I was getting paid, I decided to stay away anyway. I figured as long as I followed all the rules, I'd be perfectly fine. Still, it felt a little odd. What was this, a haunted house? Nevertheless, I lounged around the house for a few hours, as I was planning on going to sleep around 9, since that's what's the time. That's the... Let me try that again. Nevertheless, I lounged around the house for a few hours, as I was planning on going to sleep around 9, since that's the time that all the weird shit would begin to happen. At 8:50, I brushed my teeth using a faucet for the last time before 9. I'm not gonna lie, if it was me, and I was given all these creepy rules, I wouldn't be playing.
Yeah, that's...
Like, I would be brushing my teeth at 6 p.m.
Yeah, that's something where it's just like... wouldn't stay because I have a very strong sense of self-preservation. I'm just gonna, yeah, whatever this is, it ain't worth it. This ain't it, Chief. But yeah, like really, you're gonna risk that? Nah, I'm good.
Also, the fellow that's tuning our piano downstairs is playing absolutely beautifully. I can't even believe it.
It sounds really pretty.
Yeah, he's like incredibly good. Oh my god.
Who doesn't want mood music for the weird shit?
It doesn't exactly go with the vibe, but it's fine.
Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. Still,
free music.
Still, it felt a little odd. What was this? A haunted house? Nevertheless, I already read that. Bibbidi boppity.
The closet is where we're.
I checked the closet in the hallway, and upon seeing that it was open, I moved my stuff into the library and got ready to sleep on the couch. I locked two doors just in case. It's spelled T-O, not T-W-O. I'm sorry, I can't help it and poke it out. Most popular story on Reddit has a typo. I locked two doors just in case and laid on the couch, scrolling through my phone. I hadn't gotten any more messages from Jack, and I started to think up scenarios and reasons as to why he had such strict, peculiar sets of rules in his house. I had dozed off at some point because at exactly 10:16 p.m., I was woken up by the doorbell ringing. I was about to get up and check, and then I remembered the rule. Don't open the door for anyone, no matter who they say they are, after 10 p.m. I stayed on the couch, trying not to move, paranoid that they would hear even the slightest sound. Can you read this?
It's the police! Open up!
I didn't move.
Oh, it's the police! Open up or we're coming in! You got a fucking warrant, pig?
Come back when you've got paperwork, motherfucker! I still didn't move, but I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. There was silence for a while after that. Then the doorbell rang again.
Hey, it's Jack. Let me in.
It sounded like Jack, but still, I didn't get up. He would have a key, wouldn't he? Why would he need me to let him in? This continued for almost a full hour. Different people would ring the doorbell, announce themselves, and then disappear when I didn't respond. I was finally able to fall asleep, and the gardener never came. When I woke up the next morning, I heard someone in the kitchen. I got up slowly and unlocked the door as quietly as possible, taking my phone with me and walking across the living room and into the kitchen. I stopped at the entrance and peered in. It was Jack. He was standing in front of the stove, stirring something as the coffee machine brewed coffee on the counter behind him.
Hey, Good morning.
he said when he saw me. Hi, I replied, nervous. I hadn't seen him in person before, but he looked exactly like his pictures online.
Scrambled eggs? God, I hate myself so much.
Scrambled eggs? He asked, motioning to the pan with a wooden spoon. Yeah, thanks, I replied, walking over to take the plate from him. I ate my breakfast and drank some coffee in silence.
So how was it?
He asked. It was okay. Nothing super freaky happened, I replied.
Cool.
He replied. There was an awkwardness in the room. I think I'm gonna go now. I have class, I trailed off. I didn't, but I really wanted to get out of there.
Oh no, yeah, sure. I'll talk to you some.
Oh, you cut out there. So I'll talk to you some other time, he replied.
Yeah.
I grabbed my stuff, and he walked me to my car. I could see him
What a
standing
gentleman.
in the driveway, staring at me as I left. When I got home, I unpacked all my stuff, and noticed that I still had the list with me. I sat on my bed and read it again. I felt my body tense up as I realized that I had forgotten something. Turn the TV on and let it play on static through the night. Do not forget to do this. Turn the TV on and let it play on static through the night. Do not forget to do this. Do not forget to do this. I stared at the words on the page until they lost meaning. Beside me, my phone buzzed, snapping me back to reality. It was the $1,000 payment. I looked at my phone and then back at the list. Maybe it wasn't an important step. As I was thinking this over, a text from Jack came. A text from Jack came period. What is that?
It's well, that's not proper grammar. I can tell you that much.
No.
I'm not in town right now. I should be back next week. So you're free from running any more errands for me until then. Just send the payment. Go do something fun. Winky face. Also, didn't
Yeah.
more than 1,000, or am I tripping?
Can you say that again? I didn't catch all that.
Oh, I said, didn't he say that it was going to pay more than 1,000, or am I tripping?
No. He said $1,000 payment.
Okay, all right.
Everything's
I was just
straight.
like, gotcha. All right.
But the more important
except
fact
for the
is that
fact that-
he's not in town, and she just spoke to him.
Yeah. Physical impossibility.
Right. I stared at the message and read it again and again. And once more, for good measure. I'm not in town right now. I thought back to this morning and how Jack was in his house. How he gave me breakfast. I'm not in town right now. Wow, this is really like hitting you over the head over and over with the same information, isn't it?
This isn't just a hammer. This is a sack of hammers.
Right. I thought back to this morning and how Jack was in his... Oh, fuck. Now I'm doing it. Within minutes, a new text came in, this time for a number that I didn't recognize. You can...
Hold on. Yeah. I accidentally scrolled. Did you forget something? Winky face.
The text was followed by a picture of Jack, or whoever this version of Jack was, standing in front of the TV. I didn't respond. Next came another picture. This one was of the outside of my house. It was followed by another text. Watch out!
Watch out. Jeez. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, and as far as I can tell, this story doesn't have a part 2, which is a little disappointing.
Yeah.
There were a few grammatical errors and things. I don't understand why this story is the highest rated on the subreddit.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's
not
I don't
that
know.
it's not
I think
scary.
it could be better.
It's kind of the whole
Yeah.
idea of staying in a house and having to follow all these weird arbitrary rules that you don't really understand the meaning of
Yeah.
is kind of, creepy.
Yeah. I mean,
And
there's
for
always like the creepiness of like sleeping in a place that you don't normally sleep in.
hmm
Yeah, there's always a weirdness to that. Like, even like if you're like a kid and you sleep over at someone else's house, it's kind of weird. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that it doesn't deserve its spot as the best, but I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. And
no, it
I mean,
is
there's only
weird that it's the top post of all
yeah,
time. The
yeah.
second highest post of all time, though, is titled as such. I'm just seeing how long it is real quick, and then I'll send it to you. Oh, this one is a lot longer.
Oh,
I don't know how down you are for a second one.
uh, well, I mean, I'm not gonna be. I've got to go do other stuff at work that won't let me kind of be by
Well,
myself, so I'll get weird with
yeah.
those.
How about
But
this? We'll save it for another time. But this is a funny first creepy story episode. I
yeah.
swear I'll come up with a better name for it before next time.
Hey, it was fun though.
Yeah,
I,
we'll
I
do
had
another
fun.
one of these for sure.
I, I mean, just from the name alone, I had to do that voice.
Yeah. Oh, hey there, sugar baby. Like, ugh, that makes me feel gross in so many different ways.
Honestly, whoever Jack is, I feel like he could have done it easier had he just been willing to pay a maid. Like, they're
Dude,
used to putting up with weird bullshit like that. Probably would have been cheaper too.
now wear a dress. I want you to wear a French maid outfit and dust things as
It
you pull up your skirt.
reminds. Well, we all know what he likes now.
Oh my god. I've never gotten the maid, but
I
is it the people who are
think it's
like
just
go ahead.
if I had to guess, I think it's just the idea of having someone socially or physically beneath them, like a servant. That would be my guess. I'm not a psychologist though.
Kind of fucked up if you think about it.
Yeah, just a little.
Oh well.
But,
Good stuff.
but I just
I
thought about something. I saw a really dumb meme where it was
uh-huh.
like, "Now draw her getting an education."
Oh. But I'll at least read the title of the next story that I would like to read.
Sweet.
It's an interesting one. It's my wife has been peeking at me from around corners and behind furniture. It's gone from weird to terrifying.
I don't know. She sounds sweet to me, man.
You know what? That's what I would think too. But
I mean, there's a whole subreddit called r/Yandere who would be into that shit. So,
creepy.
I mean,
Do people
yeah.
really want a girlfriend that wants to kill them?
I don't think it's about killing. I think it's the idea of someone being so completely obsessed and engrossed in you that they would do anything. But again, I'm not a psychologist. I'm definitely not a Freudian psychologist. So,
That's true. Sounds like
who
mommy
knows?
issues to me. Anyways, we'll find out next time
Next
on Scary
on Dragon
Stories
Ball.
in the Dark.
Uh,
Goodbye, and stay
so
creeped
long.
out.
Ooh, creepy.
Ooh.